Hello, welcome to another episode of The Thread. My name is Ben, a.k.a. Grizzly Says, a.k.a. the Grizzly Film Nerd. I'm here with the one and only Colonel Frijoles.
Yo, this is Colonel Frijoles coming to you live.
Woo! Woo! You ready to talk comics? You ready to talk pop culture? You ready to talk, I don't know, anything and everything? Because I want to talk die. That's what I want to talk first.
I want to talk die.
But are you ready to talk?
The man of mystery is ready to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, excuse my cough and maybe slightly hoarse voice. My allergies have been acting up lately. So if you hear a cough, just ignore it. I'll try to edit out the coughs. Anyways, so we're going to start off this topic, or start off this conversation with this story that Colonel threw at me literally like 4 days ago, and I've already completed. And that's Image Comics Die. D-I-E. Like dice, but what you call a singular die, I guess.
In Dungeons and Dragons, they don't want you to use dice. Okay. They want you to use die.
Now, can you, okay, so I know about Dungeons and Dragons, but I've never played it. You've played it, and you've been raised with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit of that to me? Like, what is the significance of, like, what you just said? Like, you said in Dungeons and Dragons, they don't want you to use dice, they want you to use die.
It's like,
what is, like, the 20 die, the 5 die? Because I know that has a significance of some sort.
The only importance is the D20, sir.
Really?
The
Talk
D20.
to me, explain.
Come on, man, that D20, man. Once you roll that D20, it's all about critical hits and.
Okay.
And
I explain. I know a little bit of that, but not like.
Listen, when you talk about Dungeons and Dragons,
okay,
everybody just wants that D20.
And that's a critical hit, like an instant kill, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Depending on what powers you got and stuff like that. I mean, D&D is like. I mean, it's been around for so long that. I mean, I played that when I was like so young. And when you think about it, the only thing that's bringing this back out now is Stranger Things.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if it wasn't for Stranger Things, and I kind of feel that's where it all came from, because it was like D&D is like a cult following.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little small groups would meet in small shops.
I feel like it's never got really its due. It's had a movie that was crappy, and it had like little resurgence in like television programs and things like that. But I feel like it never, not so recently, everyone's like, hey, have you played Dungeons and Dragons before? You know? Yeah. It might be because of, like you said, because of Stranger Things.
And I kind of feel like it's a place where you can be anything you want to be. You could be yourself, act the way you want without having to impress anybody,
True.
Like, I could go be like an orc with like heavy plate armor, and be like, my name is, whatever, and I have the greatest, physique and powers and stuff, and go out and just rant about, whatever. Like, you're running.
I will slay women.
Exactly, or slay women and throw them over my
It's
shoulder.
the proto version of what people will play like an RPG or something like that, like Destiny or anything, basically. Yeah. In a sense.
D&D's kind of. I mean, I believe there's D&D in everything.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. No. Nuts.
A lot of the video games that you just mentioned, like Destiny,
Elder Scrolls, Skyrim,
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy is like king RPG though.
Oh yeah.
Like the way you I know a little bit of it, but like the way you talk about it, you could tell that like for certain. That's like in the weeds of like real role playing shit.
I was randomly hearing things, on the interweb and stuff about this comic named Die, and I was like, I gotta check this out, man. Like, what is this Die?
Where did you hear it from, actually?
Honestly, just so many random things that I hear, when I'm talking to people and stuff. They're like, yo, did you check this? Did you check that? And I'm like, Die? I mean, Die as in what? Like death?
That's like, what I thought when you told me.
Die as in role playing. Like, I was like, really? And I was like, all right. So I go to the comic shop. I pick up issue 6. The cover looks neat. I was like, all right, let me check it out. This was only like, we're recording this now, but geez, I read issue 6 like 2 weeks prior to this recording.
Okay.
I'm reading this.
Fairly recently.
Yeah, very, very recently. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, because I heard it was a new story arc. Mm-hmm. Like the first arc is 1 through 5, and issue 6 picks up a new arc. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, wow, this is deep. And I was like, the characters each had like a persona, and each character. I said, why does this read like Final Fantasy? I said, yo, I gotta go out and I gotta pick up the other issues. I said, because the characters were really interesting, especially the chick named Ash.
Mm-hmm.
she's not my like. She's like my all-time favorite right now. I even have her on a screen.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lock screen, lock screen saver on my phone. I was like, yeah.
I really like the Grief Night. Like, just like you said, like you're reading it, you're like, it feels like Final Fantasy. When I was reading it, when you turned me onto it, I was like, this feels like I'm reading a great storyline in Skyrim. Like I'm getting one of those stories where you're like, I gotta see how it ends.
And Skyrim is deep game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've lost my life to Skyrim many, many times.
How many times did I play that game? And
how many times did I buy that game? Let's not even go there. I bought that game maybe about 4 or 5 times already.
I can't even imagine, man. And I believe you. I literally believe you.
Oh yeah. But you read it like 2 weeks back. You gave it to you. You said, "Oh, you should read this." And to Jeremy, did Jeremy read it? He said.
You know what? I think he picked up a random issue here and there, and he said he enjoyed it.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? I had to go back and reread the issues 1 through 5. I read it twice.
Oh, nice.
Because I kind of like, because the comic reads like a game almost.
Okay.
You know, so I had to go back and reread it just to get the whole aspect of the characters. Because I was like, wait a minute, this almost reads like Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. Where it's like they throw these characters in this dungeon.
Explain that, because like when you said that to me before, I was like, that's interesting analysis.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I mean, listen. Okay, so we have Star Wars 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
We never knew there was, you know, a prequel, so to say. It just starts off like that. When you watch something like that, you're like, damn, you know, you wonder. But now there's things to compare it to. Yeah. So when I read issues 1 through 5 of Die, I'm like, why is this reading like Star Wars? There's got to be. Okay, so these characters get thrown into a dungeon. Yeah. Right. So these 5 kids end up on a road, and you don't even know how they get there. No. Because there's no prequel to this yet.
Which I want to say, when I first read it, I remember I read the first issue and I told you, I don't know about this. I read the first issue. I don't know why they're throwing me like this, like so quickly into the story. Like literally, it was like, we're gonna play this game. What was it? 20 years later? It was like 20 years later. They end up on a road. One's missing an arm. That's intriguing, but for me, I was also like, okay, well, what's the catch here?
Exactly.
But it's interesting.
When the book starts off, they're like, boom, chick is missing an arm.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the hell? The chick's missing an arm. Some person like rolls up on them and like, wait a minute.
Someone's missing too.
Yeah, you're the 6 kids, but wait a minute. Where's the 6? There's only 5 of you. You're the 6 kids that were missing like 2 years ago.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like, wow. And as they keep going, you know, they progress. Yes. Right. So now it's 20 years later, and all of a sudden something happens where the guy gets a box, and they're like, oh my God, it can't be. It's a message from their 6th member.
The one that's missing. The one that's like, oh, there were 6 kids, but now there's only 5. So where's the 6th member? The 6th member showed like basically like. What's in the box? That's what I read it at. What's in the box?
Oh, yo.
What's in the fucking box?
I mean, listen, without revealing too much, like, I feel like it's, okay,
wait, before you continue. I feel like even though, you know, there's going to be a little bit of spoilers here, but in reality, you're going to read this, and we can tell you the entire story, and you'll still have to read because you made a good point. You read it twice, and it made more sense to you.
I need to read it a 3rd time.
I think I'm going to read it again, and I might even read it a 3rd time, just like you, but I'm going to go back and read it a 2nd time, because I just finished it literally like an hour before we started recording, and I'm like, wow, I need to go back. Something doesn't play right. There's a hole in this plot, or no, there's not a hole. There's a secret that we missed that way I need to go back and read. But before we continue, the writer of Die is Kieron Gillen, and art is by Stephanie Han, just if anyone's interested. So you were saying?
I'm just saying, like, okay,
there's a box.
The dialogue in it, you know, it's the way it's written.
The internal dialogue is strange.
Yeah. Like
very strange.
Like there's something about it that says, you know what, I gotta go back. The character development is interesting too, because they really don't tell you anything about these characters. No. So you got 5 kids, each with their own personal drama, but then they throw you into the book, and they want to be who they want to be in this. Like every character, like you said, the Grief Night is your favorite.
I love the Grief Night.
Listen, I totally concur with you, man. Like, I'm all about the paladin. Yeah. And this guy is like, you gotta make me sad. Yo, once you make this kid sad,
he's a beast. He's
a beast.
He killed a dragon in one slice.
Kill the dragon. Like, wow, boom. It's like, yo, this is what made it.
But I really here's the thing. You know when you read a story and you read like something about with a group, especially with a lot of people in the group. Let's put example like X-Men. X-Men's a great book, but there's always this person in Berkeley like, you don't need this person. Why is this person here? Every person in Die is needed, in the sense of like, you need the Isabella chick, the one that's kind of rude. She's kind of hot. Kind of rude, and like, she's the one who speaks to the god. She's called the God Binder.
Yeah.
Dude, I went home. I gotta write a fucking book now.
When she wrote,
I gotta write a book about a God Binder.
When she brought out the bear, bro.
Dude,
it's like an avatar. I was like, yo, cause okay, so the characters are portrayed like a party of 6.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how you play Final Fantasy. You
So
have
a
party.
grandmaster, a guy who's the dungeon master, basically.
Yes.
Now, when you said grandmaster, I'm like, they're supplementing it for the dungeon master, the guy who creates the game, basically.
Yes.
I got that. And then you have, you have to go from there.
Oh, the thief. I mean,
That's
what party in any video game
does not have a thief.
RPG does not have a thief?
Of course. Or like the assassin, they call him.
Yeah, because he does all the critical hits.
Yeah.
You know.
Which was, I guess, in this case, the cybernetic chick, the one that was missing the arm, right, with the dog.
No, she's more like a beastmaster.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, she's more like a beastmaster who, throughout the whole story, is kind of like,
She's quiet throughout the entire story until one part, and I'm still wondering, what's her deal?
That's the thing. Like, they throw these characters in this comic.
Yeah.
They don't give you a lot to go on.
No.
But they throw you right into the action. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, like, this chick is dope because she's got this dog. She's like a beastmaster.
Yeah.
But the thing about her is, they don't explain much, but she's got to feed this animal. But the animal's costing them, you know, valuable money that they have to, like, say, like, you know, when you play a video game, you got to farm stuff. You got to farm materials.
Yeah. The fair gold?
Yeah, it's called fair gold.
Yeah.
You know, in Final Fantasy, it's called Gil. Mm-hmm. You know, like in World of Warcraft.
I forget what it's called.
I forget. I mean, every video game has their own currency.
Yeah, of course. The credits and if you want to do Star Wars, credits.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So basically, fair gold is what they got to farm for.
And that's the only way she could use her powers once a day, right? That's how she was.
Yep.
Yo, that shit. I was like, this is the way around a story. This is the way around. I'm reading this. I'm like, I know Junior likes Bendis, but like, this guy opened the, like, he blew my mind.
I mean, listen, this is like night and day.
Chick.
You can't really compare Bendis' writing to this.
You're right.
Like, Bendis is
or even Snyder's writing or Grant Morrison's writing.
Yeah, this is way different. Like,
this is someone. This person is a true blue like role-playing fan.
D&D master.
Yeah, you could tell. Like, there's this show that I've mentioned to you that I want to talk, maybe not, about autumn shows and shows about like get me into this mood. I love the months from September to December. That's like the time I thrive. That's all the stories I write. It's like spooky horror or fantasy stuff that's like a little eerie and not, or like just on the cusp. And I really like this show that came on Cartoon Network, which is a miniseries, an animated miniseries, and it's called Over the Garden Wall. And basically, it's about two brothers who are thrown into this weird fantasy, like 1500s worlds, where there's like people with pumpkin heads and worshiping of like weird gods and stuff like that. This is a Cartoon Network show, mind you. And it's really creepy and eerie. Just something that's a little off about it.
What's it called again?
Over the Garden Wall. And it starts like a comedy show, but as soon as you start watching it, like, there's something up. And they talk about, like, there's this beast that follows them everywhere. This darkness, this creature with horns.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, where you're like, what the fuck is this? And I love that kind of thing. Something that feels like The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
So that's where I thrive. That's my favorite thing. So every year I watch this. So far, this is like my 3rd year. I watch this, and it just like, you could tell that when this guy wrote the show, this guy read nothing but Mike Mignola comics, H.P. Lovecraft, Guillermo del Toro movies, like all that stuff that I'm into. You could tell that this guy is into it. And same thing that this guy is into it, D&D head.
Gotcha.
Absolutely D&D head. Anyway, rant over of that, but yeah. So you
D&D master.
Yeah. But back to the Grief Knight. I like the idea of the Grief Knight.
You know,
the reluctant hero that's like,
when for anybody that's listening to this, when you first get introduced to the Grief Knight, you're like, okay, so he's like, you know, he's this black kid with sad eyes. And I'm like, I never understood why the guy always had these sad eyes.
Yeah.
And he's like a troubled kid.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what he portrayed himself as.
That's what I thought, that it was just like a character thing that he brought into the game.
I never heard of a grief knight before.
No, this is
in,
my
in,
first time
in
seeing
any RPG. So I thought it was interesting when he finally, the girl's like, we need you. We need you to slay those monsters. And I was like, but this guy is always sad. First of all, I didn't even know what kind of powers he had.
He said he only had a sword, and he was like, I could barely use it, so the sword is useless. That's what he said. The sword is useless.
Yes.
I'm like, so what kind of character is he that they need him on the team, but he's useless? So
I mean, but this guy is like, okay, so the minute you say anything sad that would make him like want to cry.
almost like the reverse version of the Hulk, though.
Exactly.
Ah, Junior, you got it.
You know, you don't make him angry. You make him sad. But this guy is like one-shotting monsters. Like, how do you one-shot a dragon?
Not even a normal dragon. A dragon that's like half robotic.
Yes.
I was like, this is Mechagodzilla on steroids, this dragon.
There was one scene, there's a splash page where they're fighting like a bunch of guys, at least 20, 30 guys, and they're all in trouble. And they're like,
Okay. I think it's issue 4, but yeah.
I think so, yeah. They're all like cornered. And they're like, yo, we gotta move ASAP. This is gonna cost us fair gold.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, we need you to be sad. Like, I can't be sad. We're gonna make you sad. Boom, make this guy sad. Boom, annihilate the whole thing. I was like, what the fuck just happened? like who is this guy?
But that's what happened with the dragon. He was like, don't start this shit. Like I said, well, I told you in the car, issue 3 is my favorite issue. I feel like I have to go back and just read that issue over and over again. Where they're sitting in the trench, and he was like, don't start that shit. Well, Ash's powers, the dictator. I was like, well, what was the dictator? All she does, her voice controls like the world.
She is like the voice of God.
Yes, absolutely. To all of them, though.
I didn't know what a dictator was either.
Yeah.
As I'm reading this, I'm like, what is her powers? All I know is that she looks dope as hell.
Yeah.
You know, her outfit was on point. I was like, yo, she is. First of all, she legit looks hot.
Yes.
For
agree.
you know, for
Weird flaming eyes and stuff. Like, it's cool. It's all the designs for all these characters are cool. They're not dopey. They're not like half-assed. They're very like stylized in a sense where it's like all these people, like if someone made them and was
very
like
thought out well.
Yes.
There's something about her eye which I don't think they've revealed yet.
They mentioned something with the crystal in the middle.
Yeah.
Which we won't give away what the crystal in the middle does. But even there, I'm still not.
I think I gotta read some more into it. You know.
Yeah, like there's something up.
The fact that I could relate to these characters because from playing like MMOs.
Yeah.
On the computer, right? So Ash is really a guy.
Yes.
You know, the guy designed a female character to play with, and I was like, you know what? I've played with female characters before who are controlled by
guys,
a male figure. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Same thing with. I'm just gonna put out Destiny because that's the only thing I can relate to at the moment. So Destiny, of course, there's a couple of my friends who only play as women.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? They're just designed for you to be,
what you want.
Exactly.
What you want. Men or female in that sense. But continue.
No.
You're thinking more into it because there's like a whole storyline with that, which I didn't think you picked up. Like it was clear that he was gay. That he was gay from the start.
I didn't realize that.
And then at the end he confirmed it too.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah, until the very end.
But then also the story, like, my mind is still like blown with like because it reminds me a lot of Mignola's writing where there'll be like a mini story within the story and that story is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And then but you realize that story is just a small story to the bigger piece of the entire puzzle. So like if I'm going to issue 2 because issue 2 is really good and that's where I was like I have to read more. I have to read more after issue 2. And they talk about Ash and then this knight coming, and he was like, oh, this protector that he fell in love with, stuff like that. I was like. It makes sense. I was like, this guy definitely so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes, and this guy is like, has no eyes and stuff like that, because he's been dead for like 3 years and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I was like, that's amazing writing. That's the storyline. I want to know what happened there.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened. Why do you mean he died 3 years after he left?
I want to keep reading.
Yeah.
Like, they're up to
But then they kill the guy, and you're like, wait, what?
Like,
immediately they kill the guy.
Yeah, like issue 8 comes out next week. Prior to this recording, it comes out next week. I read issue 6. I didn't pick up issue 7 because I kind of feel like I want to get all of them.
Really?
Then read them back to back.
I need to know. I'm definitely, when I get home, I'm picking up issue 6 and 7. And I might wait for 8. But here's the thing with Comixology. With Comixology, every time there's a new issue coming out, they price the previous issue at $1.99. So it gets fairly cheap if you want
Yeah.
to. So like issue 6 is $1.99 right now, and after next week, issue 7 will be $1.99.
Yeah.
So I'll price it out there, and I'm a Comicsology member or unlimited member.
Okay.
So the price goes down a couple cents, so it's $1.69 for me.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it's not bad picking up the issue, and especially a story that's this good.
Yeah.
I don't mind picking up month to month. I want to know what happens.
It's almost like it's hard to find stuff that
Like this anymore.
that you're eager to read. Like I've picked up random comics where I'm like, okay, this was good, but it doesn't give me that desire to be like, okay, I definitely need the next issue.
That's how I felt about Green Lantern, though. Like, of recently.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison stuff. After I read issue 3, that's when I told you I was like, I'm done. I gotta collect the rest of this. I have to see what happens. Now I'm on issue 9. When I go home, I'm reading issue 9. No, I'm not even joking. I'm reading issue 9. And when I'm not reading Grant Morrison's issue stuff, I'm reading the backlog of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going through all that. I'm going through Blackest Night. I'm going to go through all that. So
You know, it's funny. You really love Grant Morrison a lot. Like I read that first issue and I was like,
it didn't
okay.
catch me either.
It didn't catch me at first, and I had it there for a couple months, and then you started reading it up again, and I was like, all right, so now I have the entire run, which I haven't read yet, only because you insisted I keep reading it.
Read from issue 3. Issue 2, you're like, I read the first 2 issues because that's what I told you when issue 1 came out. I go, I'll get the next issue, and if it doesn't catch me, I'm done.
I'll tell you a comic that actually, like, I read, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta read the next one and the next one. So there's all this talk about Venom, and I
Okay.
was like, all right, so I picked up issue 16 of Venom. I mean, they're up to like issue 18 now.
Yeah.
Now the issue's written by Donny Cates.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be honest, I'd never read anything by Donny Cates before.
Me either. And I think I have books by him. I think I just got I like the cover. Excuse me. Like the cover and didn't read the book.
So I read that Venom 16. The only listen, when it's just one of those things, and I'm sure people can relate. How many Venom books are you gonna have? How many Spider-Man books are you gonna have?
That's how I feel about that's why I didn't like reading certain Batman runs and stuff like that, because there's Batman and Robin, there's Batman Unlimited, there's Batman Beyond, Green Lantern Corps, Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns.
There's just so much. But
Spider-Man too. There's like a billion Spider-Man books,
forget about it. I mean,
and they're all number 1.
we'll get to Spider-Man in a second, but let me just tell you, to anybody that's listening, okay, so Donny Cates opened up my eyes, man. Like I said, wow, this guy can write. I mean, write
Yeah.
to the point where like he made me feel like I was reading Die. So I read issue 16 of Venom, and I'm skipping through the pages like, holy, yo, this is good stuff. So this is happening to Venom. I pick up issue 17, like, wow. I said, this guy can keep up the momentum. It's not like it slows down. Okay, the latest one, issue 18. I was like, yo, who is this sleeper character? Like, so Donny Cates created this sleeper character from, supposedly he's Venom's son.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, this is hot. I really, without going too much into it, the character's black with like neon stripes.
That sounds cool.
He sounds really cool. The way they drew him he looks really cool. But even the storyline is like, I don't know. Like I even had to pause there for a second to just recollect my thoughts. But
And that's how I felt about Die. I'm sitting there, I'm reading. I don't know. We were talking about, when we talk into the group, we throw a bunch of crap out there back and forth. I'm talking about Joker. We're talking about whatever. And I'm reading, and I sent 2 images. I'm like, because I was reading it as I'm talking to you about something else, and I see these 2 images. I'm like, do you see the level of detail in the storyline and in this image with these guys, these 2 elves in a trench, and they both have cracked lips like if they've been there for years. Nuts.
it's
Nuts.
I can't.
What?
No, it was just the way you describing it. Like I can't believe I sold you on this book.
You absolutely did. You absolutely did. There's no turning back from this book. I'm definitely like, if we're gonna do like, I remember I mentioned to you, we should find a book that we read, like just for the show. This could be one of them.
I'm gonna put this out there for anybody that's listening to us right now. If you guys are listening to this and are enjoying what we're talking about, do pick up Die, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And when you do pick up Die, and if you enjoy it as much as we did, please recommend any of your friends to listen to this cast.
Absolutely. If you have any suggestions for any other books that are like Die, that you feel that are like as compelling, I guess, as Die, put it in the comments below in the YouTube video. Clearly.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss it.
We can even in the future, if you really, really want to get into this, we could do like an issue by issue podcast. Like we could do just read issue 1 twice, and then we discuss entirety of issue 1.
That sounds
Issue
awesome.
2. We could do that in the future though. Like, I want to let this keep going. But you were mentioning Venom because here's the thing. You and Jeremy sold me on this thing too. You sold me on
Venom?
No, specifically on Cosmic Ghost Rider. So I have issue 1 coming in the mail from Midtown Comics.
Well, here's the thing.
Currently.
Well, here's the thing. Donnie Cates wrote that too.
I know.
And Jeremy picked up the whole trade, and he's reading, and he's like, oh my God. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. And I was like, yo, Donnie Cates.
Where did this guy come from?
Where did this guy come from? He's been around for a while, but not too long.
No, Dave, so that's the thing. So I got into, for some reason, I think maybe it's the collective of right now that's going on. So me and you reading Die, and Jeremy saying that he's enjoying it, and then you guys kept saying Donnie Cates, and it's like I've read something from Donnie Cates. I think it was when he introduced the Venom God. What's his name?
Oh no.
Yeah. So I read that, and I think I was like, that's cool, and I kept moving on. But then I knew of Cosmic Ghost Rider. I thought his look looked great, but at the time I wasn't reading as much as I'm reading now, so I kind of just, it went over my head. And then he brought him up again, so I went looking for it.
This guy's doing research, man. Like, he's actually taking old school comics and connecting them to these books, making the back issue market live again.
I know. I'm looking at this book, and you know what's crazy? The fact that you said that is that I never thought in a million years I would go back and was like, I need to read this Thanos book.
Like, why would you want to? I mean, listen.
Me of all people, do you ever know me to be like, Thanos, oh hell Thanos, you want me to read fucking Thanos? I'll read Thanos.
It's kind of like,
no!
It's kind of like, okay, so, you know, you go to the comic book store, and you pick up stuff because you want to read it, because you like it.
Because you always had a thing. Like, I've always liked Green Lantern, so it doesn't surprise me that I was attached to reading Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But when Grant Morrison wrote it, I ended up liking it even more. So it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, I showed you, I have a Green Lantern movie in my anime movie in my bag. It doesn't surprise me. But Thanos? Thanos. Why would I be reading Thanos?
Maybe because of Avengers Endgame?
No, fuck no. It wouldn't be that. It would be because of Donnie fucking Cates and him and me seeing an image, Junior, of Cosmic Ghost Rider sitting at the side of the throne of Thanos, and him being his like holy watchdog.
Oh, you're talking about the one he's got Hulk tied down?
Yeah, man.
How sick is that picture?
I saw that and I was like, fuck my life. Give me that fucking book now.
That is crazy.
I saw that. I was like, no. And I don't even like... Dude, I like Marvel, but you know I've never been big on Marvel.
You know, the fact that they made a Cosmic Ghost Rider is very interesting because...
And of all people, Frank Castle, which most people you would figure would be like, no, you can't do that to Frank Castle. He's the Punisher. And yet it works so well. It makes so much sense. I gotta meet this guy. I gotta pick his brain. I want to be like, what's going on in there?
You mean that he's been labeled Sir Cates?
He's been labeled Sir Cates.
Sir Cates? You know, some random YouTube stuff that
I will call him Sir Cates if that is the case. But you were saying?
Yeah, no, it's just random stuff that I been watching on YouTube and stuff, and sometimes you hear, oh, we're gonna call this guy Sir Cates, and I was like, all right, I guess we shall call him Sir Cates. We're gonna call him Sir Cates.
That's nuts. But his Venom stuff you were telling me. So you were 18?
Yeah, right now I'm waiting for 19 to come out. I mean, I'm gonna see if I pick up like other back issues, and it's weird, man, because now I gotta read this stuff backwards. But that's fine, because that's what back issues are for, man.
I feel like if the book is that good and you want to go backwards, I think that the job has been done. Like
sure,
you definitely you've done what the comic book industry wants you to do, which is they want you to go back and be like, hey, so what do you mean Cosmic Ghost Rider? What he was in Thanos? Let's go see what's in Thanos currently.
Now we gotta go out and add more stuff to our pull list. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
oh man,
I'm telling you, I went out and I was on MidtownComics.com, and instantly I went back and I was like, I wonder if they have issue 1 of Cosmic Ghost Rider, just so I can have, because I like that image and I want to read that first issue just so I can have it. And I bought it and I have it. So now, well, I don't have it, it's on the way. But still, like, I would never think in a million years that would be a case for me for a Marvel book, because there's some cool looking Marvel books that I'd be, I'll check out, but I never do. But for some reason,
Have you heard of Aftershock Comics?
I have, but I know very little.
All right, so Aftershocks is a very small publisher. Sorry, man, I was digging through my phone.
No, go
I
ahead.
wanted to get the photo of this book that I recently read, and I said, you know what? I read this, and it was also a page turner. And I'm very hard to please. I'm going to be honest. Like some stuff I'll read, and if I read it late, I'm going to get bored. I'm going to yawn, and I'm just going to put it to the side. I'm like, I'll catch up, later with this.
Yeah, of course.
But I picked up a book recently called Oberon.
Yes, you mentioned that. Continue though.
Now, Oberon reminds me a little of Die.
Okay.
It's not role playing, but it's set in a fantasy world where, and I'm going to be honest, what made me pick up this book was the cover alone, because the book is written by Ryan Parrott.
Yes.
Ryan Parrott's also been writing some Power Rangers stuff for Boom Comics.
Yes.
So when you look him up, Power Rangers comes up. And I don't sit down and read Power Rangers.
No.
So I just had to look up the guy. I said, what else has this guy written? And I'm like, Power Rangers, all right, cool. But this book, Oberon, right? The cover has a frog with a sword and shield. And I was like, wait a minute, this stuff just, I got to check it out. What's a frog doing with a sword and shield? Then you got like little fairies and little wicked monsters and some girl with a book. It looks like, Harry Potter and stuff. And there's some demon dude in the bag standing behind her. Anyway, so I read the first issue, and I was like, okay, cool. So this girl is set in present time, and she's destined for bigger things, and the demon guy is out to like find her, but you realize he's not really a demon guy. He's some guy trapped in a realm that needs to use her like a key.
Okay.
And then like in this world where he's at, all these weird things are happening, and it's a really catchy read, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I'm trying to find the image you sent me of it. You did definitely send me. Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, the frog with the sword and the shield is badass.
I'm telling you, there's just something about that stuff, and the inking and everything was really nice. I mean, I believe the art's done by Milos Slavkovic. I can't even pronounce the name.
Not your fault.
Yeah. But no, it's a really good read.
I'm definitely going to check it out, because I know you've mentioned it to me twice. So you've only read one issue, though?
Yeah, so far I think the issue is like...
Did you read it digitally, or how's it?
No, I picked up the book.
Oh, okay.
I randomly picked it up. I saw the cover and I was like, wow, issue 1. When I went home, I looked it up, and they're up to like issue 5 or 6 so far.
Okay.
But I was taken by it because when you read it, the guy is like, my name is Oberon, king of the fairies. And I was like, king of the fucking fairies? I said, why does that sound dope? Like, it's already like an RPG.
Yeah, of course. Badass.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty badass. She's in this world, there's unicorns, there's like little flying things, books are flying, stuff is flying.
That's pretty badass. It reminds me a little bit of Books of Magic by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
Probably the original one a little bit more. It's a good read. I saw, you said that you read Lucas Stan.
I did.
The first issue, which I only read as well.
Yep, I read it last night. I mean, when you first told me Lucas Stan, I'm like, what the hell is Lucas Stan?
Well, so for my birthday, like I said, I bought a bunch of comics, and I subscribed to this website called thingsfromanotherworld.com.
All right.
And they're a comic shop in, what's his name from? Bendis from again?
Bendis?
Yeah, where's he from again? Not Ohio. Portland.
Chicago.
Portland.
Oh, Portland.
Portland. They're from Portland, which apparently is like the comics hub of the world, apparently. So anyways, so they're from there, and I bought them, I buy from them fairly recently, but every year on my birthday, they send me a $5 coupon.
Who does?
This website, I subscribe to them. It's called it's from thingsfromanotherworld.com.
Yeah, for a minute I think you said Bendis is sending you coupons.
Yes, Bendis sends me coupons.
Like, what?
I forgot to tell you, I've been hiding. I actually know Bendis very well.
I was gonna say,
he comes
what?
over the house for dinner. No, the website does for subscribing to their, their whatever newsletter.
Yeah.
So every year it gives me an excuse. Let me spend $5 or more, obviously. So they're very good with back issues and selling them for $1. So I bought a couple books for $1. One of them being the new run of Books of Magic.
That's not bad.
And then Lucas Stan.
Yeah.
Because the cover looked dope. You know, it looked like something. It looked like a movie or something like that. And it's like Lucas Stan, Inner Demons. I didn't know that it was a second volume, but I didn't care. I figured for $1, even if I'm just thrown into it, why not?
You know, that first book, after I read it last night, I told myself, the first opening scene reminds me of something out of, like, Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
Like, from Dusk Till Dawn, right?
As soon as you open the book and you see this guy, he puts it on a glass and he turns his head and there's a demon on the wall nailed and he has a gun to his crotch. And I was like, this is a... That is a way to open up a book that you don't know nothing about.
That was definitely an eye-opener. I was like, wait a minute. But right off the bat, first thing I thought about was Dusk from Dawn?
From Dusk Till Dawn, yeah. That's the same thing when you say, like, this reminds me of Robert G. I was like, yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn, right?
Yeah, you got all the Then, as you read down further, you got all the vampires laying on the floor dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, it reminded me of, I don't know if you ever seen Banshee?
Yeah.
Banshee? It reminded me of that whole bar fight scene.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yo, this is dope already. This is just the first page.
Exactly.
So as I kept reading, I was like, all right, so this guy is like a time traveler of sorts. He needs like some sort of like gem to open up these other portals, and he's like on a vampire hunt.
Yeah.
Almost reminds me of Sam and Dean, you know?
Yes. That's what I was gonna. I didn't want to write this to you guys because then I would feel like I was gonna classify the book. But I felt like if someone took Constantine, Supernatural, and From Dusk Till Dawn, it was like, we don't have the license for any of this shit, but I'm gonna write my own story anyway. And that's what it felt like.
Constantine was,
it felt Constantine-ish.
It gave me that vibe. It gave me that vibe. The way the dude was dressed.
Yeah, not for nothing. Even I have a sorcerer of some sorts in some of the stories I write. Constantine's a good go-to, if anything. He's the perfect demon hunter and stuff like that.
Now, who's making this book? I believe it was Boom, right?
It's Boom Studios.
Now, Boom Studios is coming out with a lot of stuff.
I feel like they're letting these people who are like, they have a script for a movie, but they can't get it made. Boom Studios, because a lot of this, it felt like a movie a little bit, like a TV series that you would watch on TV, and this is just the pilot episode to a longer movie series, longer TV series.
Well, here's the thing, like, I watch these YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of stuff, some of this stuff at work, and it feels like they want to keep pushing this Boom Studios to make a movie for something, but nothing's been picked up. But they feel like they want to push something.
This would be a good start.
This would be a good start. I mean, it looks like it's been done before.
It feels, yeah, but if that's the whole thing. Like, Stranger Things, the idea of Stranger Things have been done before. A bunch of kids fight a monster, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things. But if it's done well.
If it's done well, the public will accept it.
Exactly.
Like Stranger Things isn't Stranger Things like a mashup of like
it's a big hit.
Goonies, E.T.
Exactly.
And
stuff that we've seen plenty of times before.
Yeah. Right? I know. I've seen most of the stuff. Doesn't seem original, but it looks original to the.
When I saw the first episode, I have never finished the first season of Stranger Things. I've only seen the first like 6 episodes or whatever. But seeing the first episode, I was like, this feels like I'm watching it. It's a good version of it. It's not for me per se, but it feels like it. Like if I'm reading the book and it's kind of playing out for me. Like so, there's something that's wrong. That's these kids are gonna have to face at the end, and there's this other world, yada yada.
Yeah.
But this feels like I said, like a B movie, and in the best possible way, B movie, not in a bad way. Of like Constantine or even Dylan Dog. Do you know who Dylan Dog is? Mm-mm. They made a movie with Brandon Routh a couple years ago. Didn't do too well. But it's like that, a demon hunter lives in a world of fantasy stuff that, is semi-time travel, which was actually very interesting.
Yeah.
He kept trying to follow this chick, and apparently he's damned of some sort.
All right.
No, I'm talking about Lucas Stan.
Oh.
Yeah. Towards the end of the issues.
It's funny. I'm looking at the cover again from the beginning, and it almost reminds me of The Preacher.
Yeah, that too.
The cover looks really interesting. It's like a cross between Preacher and Constantine.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I like the cover. I mean, I like the artwork inside.
If you can get it cheap, I think it's the best route. Which is like I said again, the book is called Dylan Dog. Wow. It's called Lucas Stan Inner Demons. Who's it written by?
Kurt Sutters.
Kurt Sutters. Okay.
It's funny because so far 3 recommendations and these 3 titles I think they're really good.
They're strong.
Yeah, this Lucas Stan feels like a strong potential.
I'm definitely gonna see if I can read more if I can get my hands on it.
I definitely recommend Oberon.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna read that whenever I get.
And then Die, if you like Die, Oberon's not far behind. I mean, you're not gonna get to.
You might get a Die podcast very soon. I'm just.
Yeah.
We should set that up.
It's gonna be
actually.
Die fanboys.
Oh no.
Man, we're gonna have to come up in here with some Die.
Yo. All we need is just James on it. We're done.
Oh man.
We need James to read this and be done. I might even go as far. Amazon has a sale for $6.49. I'm gonna just.
Was it $6.49?
I'm gonna send the book to his house.
Hey, ship it, man. You never know. Be like, yo, what is this? Oh, gifts.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Die and fantasy worlds and
As far
possibly
as-
the Die podcast? Rename the show from the thread to the Die podcast.
We need to come in here dressed as knights, you know?
I'm agreeing. No, I'll make up a new knight. I'll be the angry knight, the mischievous knight.
Come out in the Hulk and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy, man.
So out of the 5 issues, what's been your favorite so far? Well, you read it as a trade though, right?
No, I downloaded them. Well, the first 5 I read digital.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I don't recall which issue it was. I was just like flipping through the thing.
Oh, okay.
The iPad. Yeah. Man.
Anything that stands out?
Oh man, that one point, man, when she's like in that ditch, and she's like, yo, like, once again going back to the grief night.
Oh
like,
man.
that's the part that stands out the most. Like, come on, you gotta get sad.
Yeah.
But
This man will never see his family again.
yes.
This man wrote a letter with his last dying breath. I don't know who these other people are. And he was like, okay. Whoosh, with a sword. A flaming sword that just like...
That was deep. That was deep. That was deep.
That was good. So I want to talk Star Wars right now.
Uh-oh. You're hitting a very sensitive subject with a lot of sensitive
I
people
know.
out there about this subject.
If you guys feel sensitive about Star Wars, I love Star Wars, but if you feel that sensitive, I will turn it off now. Thank you for your listen. I'm not going to talk bad stuff about it, but nor am I going to talk good stuff about it. I'm going to talk indifferent.
Are you gonna talk the new trailer?
I'm going to talk a couple of things. We could talk the new trailer. I want to talk about that report, the one I sent you about.
Okay.
And I want to talk about my experience at Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
Because I was thinking of doing a video for YouTube for it, but I figured I'll talk about it first here. Because I spoke about my video idea to my wife, and my wife, it was like a light went off in her head, because she was like, oh my god, you're right. Because she knows nothing about Star Wars. She knows Force Awakens.
Did you build that lightsaber?
No, I didn't. $200 was too steep of a price for me, especially what I saw. So,
All right.
but I built a droid.
Really?
I have a droid at home. I didn't take a picture of it. I should have. Wow.
So you have a walk around your house?
Oh yeah, my daughter's afraid too. It's funny. My daughter's not afraid of nothing. She saw the character. She hugged Mickey. She almost wanted Mickey to pick her up. She went on different rides. We have this little droid that's about this big that walks around the house. It's remote controlled. It's Bluetooth remote controlled. So it almost moves on its own.
It's like having another kid in the house.
Yeah. And my daughter, you hear, and my daughter's like, ran the other direction. And I was like, that's the guard dog, R266. That's his name, R266.
That's what you named him?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
R266 is the block I've lived on since I was a kid.
I feel that.
So R2, obviously R2 Unit 66, and he's
Gotcha.
black, red, and white, the colors of Mickey Mouse.
Interesting. Black, red, and white.
Black, red, and white. The colors of Mickey Mouse. My wife actually chose those colors, so I didn't even choose them. We're Disney fans. I don't know if you guys know.
The mouse he's got the Infinity Gauntlet.
That mouse has the Infinity Gauntlet, but I think he needs to give it away.
The mouse owns all.
He really does. So where should we start first?
I don't know, man. But I do think that this Disney Plus thing, like I said, the mouse owns all.
Oh yeah.
The mouse is trying to. Wait a minute. Let me just.
Uh-oh.
The mouse is trying to take over Netflix.
I don't think he'll do it though.
I really don't think that'll happen.
No, I don't think
I
so.
tell myself, wait a minute. Netflix has been around. They dethroned Blockbuster.
Yes.
For those that don't know, Blockbuster was VHS.
And they dethroned them. They used to send VHS. Netflix was sit at home, order the movie and your thing, it'll show up at your door.
Yes.
And dude, I've been a Netflix member probably since then.
Yeah.
Probably since then.
I'm gonna be honest, man. When I first ordered Netflix,
I want a little insight. I was a grandfathered in for $5.99 when people were paying $10.99 already.
yes.
That's how long I was.
Yes.
I've been a Netflix member.
But not even that. Like, listen, you could rent video games.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was doing.
Really?
I was renting video games from Netflix.
For me, you know what I was renting? It's crazy now when you think about it. I was wrestling full seasons of TV shows that I had no access to before.
Me too.
You know how I love the show Dexter. I didn't have Showtime. You know how I saw Dexter? Through Netflix, through getting the DVDs coming to my house.
They had digital, but it wasn't big. It was
it was very little.
It was very little. Like, what the hell was on it? It was like garbage.
No.
But you know what? I remember
Dexter was one of the first shows they put on. Put on digital on there as a full, like the binge, when the binge started, like, oh, you could binge TV shows. Dexter was one of the first, and then I stopped ordering them. I watched the rest of the show like that.
Is it a shame that I haven't watched Dexter, like, ever?
Yes, it is.
I don't even know why, but I can't even go into this right now, but I just never watched Dexter.
Why? Is there something against him?
I don't know, man. It was just like
let me put you. I always said that. I always thought Joaquin Phoenix was the Joker. Like, he could always be the Joker.
Yeah.
Michael C. Hall had his time to be the Joker, and he should have been.
Just something about the character. Like, he didn't look epic to me, man. He just looked like some lame dude slasher.
And that's why. And that's why he's epic. Because when he does something epic, you're like, holy fuck.
I'm always about,
I'm going to recommend something to you for you and wifey to binge. Binge Dexter. Seasons 1 through 4 are fucking epic. Season 5 is pure trash.
You know what it is?
Season 6 to the rest is great.
I just felt like maybe he was just and I'm going to be honest, I just felt maybe he was just a punk. Only because he's like a flimsy slasher dude. You know, I need to be like thrown into overdrive. Like,
you want me to paint a scene for you?
No. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
You ever watch The Shield?
Yeah, with Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
Okay.
That guy, right off the back, boom, straight honcho. Same thing. Like when you watch Banshee, Detective Hood, straight honcho, boom. You know, when you watch The Boys, Butcher, boom, straight. When you watch The Boys again, and you look into like Homelander, boom, straight, straight hardcore dudes, man. And I was like, and I think that's what I'm hooked onto. That when I finally saw Dexter, I was like, this guy, okay, he's just gonna stab you, and you know, he's into like, I'm gonna cut you.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, you gotta watch Dexter. I'll paint a scene for you of Dexter. This is why Dexter's epic. So there's all these episodes. Dexter usually end somewhat of the same way, but the main thrust is this: he'll capture the victim, strap them to a table with Saran wrap, because he's a neat freak. He's a killer that's a neat freak.
He's OCD,
crazy OCD.
Dude, he's whack. He's whack.
Nah.
Come on.
These people will wake up in this scene, and there's pictures of like all the people that they've harmed in their life.
Listen, I'm gonna put
hundreds of people, and Dexter would be like, because he was taught his surrogate father, because he was adopted, knew that he was going to be a serial killer, and gave him a code of ethics to make him feel better for what he was going to do in life.
So now he's like a Sir Knight.
They used to call him. I remember if they used to call him the Dark Shadow.
He was knighted into this life,
in a sense, by a cop.
By a cop, no less.
Which he became a cop. And so when his father gave him the code, he says the code every time he's like ready to kill this person. He goes, you've created, I'm killing you because you're a bad person and not because I'm basically need to feel this itch. Which he does, clearly need to feel this itch. Because when he kills these people, he's like, I need you to realize what you've done. And then when he kills them, he stabs them directly in a certain part of the chest, where after he stabs them, you just see the blood drip.
Interesting.
It is epic. And you hear his the movie is like, the show is almost like a comic, because there's a lot of internal monologue. He's like, I know I did this, but it's not like I feel bad about it.
All right, so listen.
I'm telling you, dude.
So listen. Okay, no wait.
Okay.
You ordered Netflix because of Dexter. I'm gonna tell you why I ordered Netflix.
Oh no.
Bendis. No.
I'm joking.
There was no Bendis then. No. I'm gonna go into. You ever watched the show called Heroes?
Okay. Yes. It was not for me.
Save the cheerleader, save the world. Remember that slogan?
Yeah.
All right. So one name comes to mind.
Okay.
Siler.
Okay.
But you said you never watched it.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I saw the first episode when it aired, and it wasn't for me, and then I saw bits and pieces throughout.
Siler was a dope villain. And this guy was like...
Was he supposed to be like Magneto? Is that what it was supposed to be?
This guy makes Dexter look whack, bro.
Okay.
This guy would slice your head open, right?
Okay.
Take the top off your head.
Where's the hat?
No. He would absorb your powers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He was stealing people's powers, bro.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool villain. Kind of like Rogue, but like...
Almost like a Rogue, but a violent rated R Rogue.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't
the show on like ABC?
I think it was NBC.
NBC?
Yeah, Channel 4, man. Out here in New York, Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Channel 4, the Peacock.
Oh, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. There you go.
But let me tell you something. Seasons 1, Seasons 2, the greatest show episodes I've ever seen. Season 3 just completely fell off because it happened after a writer's strike.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't Jeff Loeb writing for that show?
Oh, my God. All I know is that Season 1, Season 2...
Wait. You're bringing, like, the wheels are turning.
Oh, yeah, because you're talking about the beginning of Netflix.
I remember that.
We're going back 15 years, no?
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, my God. I do remember that. Yeah, like, everything fell off real hard. Man. Like, all the shows that were, like, big went... Pow!
Every single show that aired that year.
Which was Dexter Season 5.
Every show that aired that year, the following one fell off and sucked.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, the writers went on strike and they had to get new writers back.
Who had no idea what the show was about. Basically.
A lot of these people didn't know what the hell was going on. And let me tell you something. Heroes fell from, like, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was watching it. All of a sudden, Season 3 comes out and I watched it. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? This is not where we left off at.
Lost like that, too? Lost, too.
Even, I don't know about Lost, man. I mean, I felt lost.
Lost was lost. I was lost in Lost.
I was lost in Lost, man.
I was lost in Lost. That's nuts.
But yeah, man, that was the turning point for Netflix. But yeah, going back to Disney Plus, man. I mean, I feel like the mouse wants to shove this stuff down our throats like, you must buy into Disney. Why?
Oh.
They want to give us Mandalorian. They want to give us, Loki. They want to give us Black Widow. They want to give us Captain Falcon. They want to shove Hulu down our throats, too.
Oh, yeah.
Here, we're going to give you Blade, PG-13. Like, what the hell are you giving us, man? What are you doing to us?
Well, there's a lot of answers and questions to that, but I can tell you one thing. It was rumored, when we first heard about this, which was like 3 years ago now for me, because I remember I got a newsletter about it. They sent me offers like, you could pay for $119. You can get Disney Plus for 3 years. For $119.
For $119.
3 years. They send me offers I've been a Disney member for a very long time.
Well, they were offering $12.99, right? For ESPN.
And everything, yeah.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Which is not bad, because $12.99 is what we pay for Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
But wait.
Are we gonna? Is this society gonna become Disneyfied?
I doubt it. You know why? Because Disney does one thing very, very good, which is make promises they cannot keep. Let's go back. I won't bring in Marvel because there's a lot of promises they made us that never came true.
Well, let's look at that. Let's look at this horrible show called S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay. Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But we can. I won't get in that because it gets into a touchy subject for certain people.
I know. Listen, I know people that love this show, but I'm like, but the first episode had Deathlock in it.
Yeah, it never came back.
He wasn't even Deathlock, man.
Well, they also had Ghost Rider too.
That wasn't Ghost Rider.
No, it wasn't. That's
that was Ghost Runner.
Ghost Runner. But let's use like I said, promises that they can't keep. But let's use the example of this Disney Plus. Okay. So Disney has a good track record, like I said, of making promises they can't keep. Disney made promises to people who are Disney fans like me, like classic Disney fans. They told us this. They looked in our eyes, Colonel. They looked in our eyes and they're like, you're going to get every Disney movie that's in our entire library on this service.
Is that like the wrestling app?
That's what they told us. Wait, that's what they told us. We're not getting half.
They're not giving you anything.
We're giving ones that I own. I don't need to watch Beauty and the Beast. I fucking have like 4 fucking copies of Beauty and the Beast. I don't need to watch Lion King. I got 4 fucking copies of Lion King. You know what I want to watch? Give me an HD copy of Black Cauldron. Give me an HD copy of certain movies that you can't find because, guess what? It didn't make enough money in our opinion.
No 4K?
No 4K.
What? How many reboots of Little Mermaid are we going to get?
Too many. Too many. So they told us that, you're going to get this entire animated library. Stuff that you love for years. You're going to get it. They're giving us stuff that I've seen on Hulu, I've seen on Netflix, I've seen on free stuff. So, as you know, I'm a big Disney nerd. And currently I'm both listening and reading to this book called The Disney War. And it's about the years 1983-ish, 1984-ish. to maybe 2006, and that is the crux of like the big Disney corporation. So in this book, it talks about not just Disney, but all the stuff Disney actually has that we didn't know that Disney has.
But wait a minute, can't you just Google Disney and everything just pops out?
Yeah, but just like, you know, Marvel, just like how Disney has like Marvel under their belt, there were certain movies that we did not know that Disney had. Do you know that Saving Private Ryan is technically, not Saving Private Ryan, Pearl Harbor is technically a Disney movie because it's under the Disney company?
Is it?
See, exactly. I learned all this stuff from this book because it talked about all the sneaky, crazy shit that went on under Sixth Sense is a Disney movie. It's owned by Disney.
Now let me ask you a question. I mean, you being a Disney head, because I'm not a Disney head.
Yeah.
But they just bought Fox.
Yeah. Which did not show up at D23.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
Terminator. Predator.
Aliens.
Like, Aliens.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Avatar, but that's in some of the works.
But Avatar's still in the works by James Cameron. But still, are we gonna? I mean, okay, listen, they have Avatar at their park. But are we gonna get like? We're not gonna get like a crossover with Little Mermaid and Predator?
That'd be awesome, but no. That'd be awesome, but no.
You know, like
no, like we should be getting, like, there's the rumors I've been hearing out of Disney from hearing Disney Plus, blah blah blah, the lies that they tell us we're supposed to be getting, and I do not kid you when I say this. When they bought Fox, there was a bunch of stuff that came out of the pipeline for like people like us. New Die Hard movie without Bruce Willis, reboot.
what?
Oh yeah.
What?
New Alien movie. Not Ridley Scott though.
What?
Don't know about Terminator, but Predator movie supposedly in the works too. They greenlit a bunch of stuff, which.
But are they gonna wash these movies down with a sponge give it to us in PG?
I don't know, because Kevin Feige, he's the I want to make sure everyone loves me and hugs me and kisses me at the end of the night. And took me in with a blanket, cookie and whatever. When he said that Black Widow's not gonna be rated R, don't even think it'll ever be rated R. It's a PG-13 movie, son.
Let me tell you something.
I thought, okay, he already lost me before when he said, this is the plan we have, and Inhumans is going to get a great movie. We're going to get a Black Bolt that's going to be undescribable. And they give us that show instead of a movie. I knew that it went
I'll
down.
never get my 2.5 hours back.
I didn't see it. Why would I watch that? Why would they tell us one of the greatest Marvel characters of all time is Black Bolt? The man could whistle and destroy a country.
This guy was in Hawaii, man. Hey, what the hell? Why are the Inhumans in Hawaii?
Why promise us stuff that you're not going to? You're not going to whatever. They probably knew that they were getting X-Men. So they was like, we got to watch this slate of Inhumans. No one's going to ever want to hear about Inhumans if we put this really shitty show out for 2 hours.
But let me tell you something. The first opening scene is Medusa. Like
horrible CGI.
With her hair is covering her butt. Why open up with a sex scene in the first, like...
Because it's cool.
I don't know, man. That whole thing, the whole thing that killed me was these guys are like chilling in Hawaii. Black Bolt winds up in jail and can't get out of the cell. All he had to do was open up his mouth.
All you have to do is, huh? Oof.
Though every word he utters is like destruction.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
It would have been like we talked about when all of us were like. A couple years ago, we were talking about Winter Soldier and how, like, this world is going to open up so big. And wouldn't it be awesome if Punisher was sitting on top of a tower, pointing a gun at freaking Steve Rogers, and all you saw was the skull. You didn't even see the character. All you saw was the skull.
Oh, man, I told you that.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And you know how hard it broke my heart when we have half the stuff that we have to be talking about it. They just don't know what to do with it.
Let me tell you something. The Winter Soldier set the ground for Disney Marvel movies. But it never went back to that.
And no, it didn't.
Like, I don't even know why. Like, Winter Soldier was... For anybody that hasn't seen Winter Soldier...
Which is weird. Probably not. I'm pretty sure everyone has. If you're listening to this, I'm pretty sure you've seen Winter Soldier.
Like, that whole scene there with him, you know, going toe-to-toe with Cap.
Yeah.
That was some of the best cinematic...
As the whole entire space... the station's coming down into the Earth.
Yeah. Some of the best choreographed fight scene.
That's the last Marvel movie that I liked, if I want to be honest with you. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy came after, so
I mean, listen, I'll be honest. I mean, fighting or choreographed-wise, I'm gonna say that was probably the last Marvel movie.
Do you remember, talking about Winter Soldier, Cap jumping from the plane with the shield in his back, and you get that wide view of Cap running across the ship, throwing the shield, picking the shield, throwing the shield, picking the shield, chopping people down. You know why I get mad at Marvel? This is the reason why. Because I see that and I'm like, when they get Daredevil, the world is just going to open up. I'm talking about a guy who can't see but can see everything. And they made 3 good seasons of a show.
Daredevil was awesome.
But they left it, but they kind of like, well, that was great. Dodo in my head. Now let's see what happens.
Okay, look, Daredevil was awesome. But I felt like they limited their studio. Like, all of Daredevil's fight scenes were epic.
Oh yeah,
but they were
always seen in the first season.
But they were all in hallways.
Well, that's kind of. Well, he's a street level character.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
No,
I'll give it that.
But I get it. But come on, he's got the baton. He can just toss around, which he did. But it was
very rarely.
But all his fight scenes were like close in the hallway, almost like if they were just reshot over and over again.
I guess because they, and like I said, they see that one thing works and then they double down on it until you're sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yup.
But back to Disney Plus. You know, it could have been a Netflix killer, I think, at one point. But I really do think it's just going to be another service that we have. If you want it. I'm going to get it for 2 months. 2 months so me and my wife could see the movies that we want and so I can watch The Mandalorian.
Well, 2 months is not enough, because what about when Loki comes out?
You never see me. It has to be amazing for me to.
Then here's the thing. How much of Tom Hiddleston can you take? Like,
I like Tom Hiddleston.
I like him a lot.
But I don't think they've messed. That's one of the things I don't like about them either. I hate what they've done to the character.
I don't think he can
Loki
carry
was
a movie.
a bad guy.
He was. He was a bad actor.
Do you remember Ultimate Alliance?
Of course.
Okay, the first Ultimate Alliance game. That was one of my favorite games as a kid. There's a scene, a cinematic that used to remember when video games wasn't like it looked the same as the video game. There used to be like an epic cinematic.
Absolutely. Yep.
There's an epic cinematic in the second level of that game where Loki is storming Asgard. And you see him, and he's like destruction, and you ha ha ha. And I'm like, that's Loki to me. That's always been Loki to me. And when I saw the first Thor movie, I was like, that's Loki to me. Second Thor movie, what'd they do to Loki? In my head, I'm like, what'd they do to Loki?
Loki,
Third movie, what'd they do to Loki? Why is Loki making jokes? Why are they making this guy funny? Okay, why are they gonna have a TV show? Why did they bring him back from the dead?
Why is Loki Ragnarok holding a gun and helping Thor? Like, I'm gonna help you, brother. I'm like, listen, I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's why I'm ready for the Joker movie, man.
I mean, listen, don't get me wrong.
Joker, as soon as Joker starts singing and dancing with Mickey Mouse, I'm out.
some of these movies were good, but
Some
then
of them
you
were
gotta
baffling.
but then you gotta think, right? It has to appeal to the masses.
But you see, like, that's where I get to the thing of like, you have a lifetime of like putting into this hobby that's like, how many boxes of comics you got, bro?
Oh man, I can't.
Exactly. And you know, me, like, look, I was still at the age where I wore a Daredevil shirt to school. I was made fun of for wearing a Daredevil shirt. I was in 6th grade, still making fun of. You can't do that now. Someone wear a Daredevil shirt, be like, oh, that's awesome, that's Daredevil.
Nice Daredevil. I see guys in here come to work. You know, when they come sit down, for a cut and stuff, and they're like, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, this guy's not a nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's not. Listen, even.
So why appeal to the masses when the whole purpose? That's why, in a sense, I like DC because when they had that Batman v Superman, I said this is the perfect movie in the sense of, oh, you didn't understand that he came back in time, Flash? Go read fucking Flashpoint then.
Hell yeah.
Makes fucking sense now, huh?
Some of these I've spoken to. I remember, one of the most funniest things is I'm sitting down and the guy's like, "Are you gonna watch Avengers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch Avengers." He's like, "My wife is trying to get me to watch Avengers, and I don't know if I want to go." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know why? This is when Avengers, the first movie, was coming out. Not Avengers Endgame, but the very first Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's like, "Do you think Wonder Woman's gonna be in it?" And I'm like,
"Woof, goodbye, my friend."
Listen, I didn't know whether I wanted to throw him out of the shop or Zeke him, but I'm like, Wonder Woman. But you know what? But I nodded to him and I was like, you know what? I think Wonder Woman might just be in it.
You're an asshole.
I figured I'd mock him a bit. It's like, yeah. So so is Superman. Who knows? Maybe Batman might just jump in, with Thor and shit. And the guy's like, hey man, that sounds exciting. I was like, yup.
It would be too.
You make sure you get 2 tickets to go watch this. And I was like, geez. I mean, what are they doing with these characters? You know, besides, you got to try to educate everybody, man.
And that's where it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. That's why, Marvel's a good stepping stone for, like, the kid trying to figure out, what characters they like. Then they got Punisher, and you figure out if you like that, if you like Daredevil. But then you go to the other hardcore storylines where you got to be reading these back issues of, Batman or Green Lantern or whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And that's where I think the disconnect happened, because I think a lot of people went into those movies being like, I'm going to understand everything, and then I'm going to be wearing Batman underwear till I die. And that's not what happened, because, like, this guy made a movie that was like, for all those fans who stood their time reading comic books and waiting online to get issues signed by, like, Frank Miller, this one's for you.
Let me tell you something. Just recently, I had a guy, we were talking about these Christian Bale Batman movies.
Okay.
This guy comes in and he's like, we're talking, and he's like, is Ra's al Ghul real? What? Said Ra's al Ghul's been around for the longest. Don't you know about the Lazarus Pit, motherfucker?
See, that's...
And I'm like, yo, excuse my language.
Yeah.
But it made me want to rant out. I was like, yeah, the Lazarus Pit is real. I mean,
Yeah.
real in our world. In our world, But I'm like, but did Batman really train as a League of Assassins? I was like, yes. I said, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of the Gotham show, but if there's one thing that I find really surprising, after reading Batman for so many years, they're trying to tell us now that Alfred was a trained assassin hired by the Waynes to protect, which I think is probably why I'm really interested in this Joker movie, because now they have a Pennyworth.
Yes. Well, I can go, the TV show on Epic.
Yeah.
But who started as Jeff Johns?
Are they going into a deep origin story?
With Joker? Absolutely.
No, but I mean into Pennyworth.
I believe so, because it's always been rumored, and this is going back before Jeff Johns, before Scott Snyder, that he was part of the Queen's Army.
Okay.
That he was always a secret agent. They've always said that, but they never got into it.
So he's like a James Bond 007.
Yes, that's what they always said, but they never really got into it.
Yeah.
Jeff Johns expanded on that in the book Batman Earth 1, because he made a younger Alfred. But he made a younger Batman, a younger Alfred, and the Alfred being the guy like, okay, you want to fight crime? I'm going to teach you how to use a gun. And Batman's like, no, I'm not going to use a gun. He's like, are you stupid? I've been an agent for so many years.
So he was like a Wayne's bodyguard?
He was always a butler, and he comes from a family of butlers, but because he never wanted to be a butler and the skill of butling, I guess, he went into the army. And then later in life, being an older man, went into his family's career and went to Gotham.
Yeah, but he was a trained assassin.
Think about it. If you never want to know anything of this life, and then one day the boy that you're basically is your adopted son now, decides he wants to war on crime, wouldn't that stuff like... Bing?
But aren't they hinting that...
Remember, he also is a medic.
No, but what I'm saying is, but aren't they hinting that Pennyworth was part of the League of Assassins?
I don't know. I didn't see the show, so I wouldn't know.
Or trained?
See,
this is why I didn't watch that Gotham show. People were telling me about this, and I was like, wait a minute. Alfred was part of the League of Assassins?
Gotham is the most horrible representation of Batman that's ever been.
I didn't watch a lot of it. I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes, and I just couldn't take the cat girl.
Okay. I watched way more than that, way than I'm on. More than I'm proud of, I want to be saying, because my wife kind of was into it, and I was like, if this is the only way I can get her into something, I'll fucking take it.
Yeah.
But it was the worst representation of Batman. They had one good episode. The first episode, Gotham, was good, and then they did nothing with the show. They try to appeal to the masses.
Yeah.
And try to make... I guess a CW Flash. That's the best way to say it.
People kept asking for the Joker, and I don't know what they did with the Joker.
They had one good episode of the Joker. They had a good episode of when they introduced the Joker, that might have been the only good episode.
I think so too, because that could have been the origin, because it turned into like he was in a circus.
He was in, it's a good one. Like here in this Joker movie, they're going to the Killing Joke, and they're saying that he was a failed comedian, which is a very good interpretation as well, whatever you want to believe. And Gotham, he was in the circus, and his mother was, I guess, a horrible mother, and he was slowly killing her mother's lovers.
I mean,
and he was off. He was brain dead.
It kind of made sense, but then I think the network was like, no, this guy's not our Joker.
No, they said that this show is too dark. That's what happened.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. That's what happened. These Marvel movies were like, nah, that's too dark. Are you telling me that the DC Universe is too dark? Well, hello, the DC Universe has been dark for years.
I mean, hello, yeah. I mean, geez. Isn't that what it stands for? Dark comics?
Yeah, I would believe. If that was really what it is, I would believe so. Look at, Frank Miller did a lot of good things and a lot of bad things, but Frank Miller made what you wouldn't have the Dark Knight movies, the Christian Bale Dark Knight movies. You wouldn't even have the '89 Batman without that portrayal of Batman. What's the guy? Tim Burton. Tim Burton handed the Dark Knight Returns to Michael Keaton on the first day of them filming Batman, and he said, "This is what I'm going for," which is a more adult take. Would it be? Watchmen is also a good take. I think Watchmen now is finally getting appreciated for what it is. It definitely came way too early in its life. A movie that's supposed to explain heroes when there was no hero movies around.
Yeah.
But
are you excited for the prequel?
The show?
Is it a prequel or a sequel?
It's actually a sequel. I heard a report. Finally, I'm kind of into it now.
There's not much on it.
It's not much on it, and I think because it's supposed to be a mystery because I found out that Jeremy Irons is actually Ozymandias. That's interesting.
Okay.
And it's the whole purpose of the show. Now I finally heard in an interview what this show is about. Because I have no idea what the show, and I saw the trailers, I was like, I don't know what it is. Is this a prequel? Is it a sequel? It takes place exactly after everything that happened in Watchmen.
Okay.
So this is a world that takes place. This is Ozymandias' world if everything in Watchmen actually happened. So you're talking about a lawless society.
And it's an HBO thing.
Yes,
so
which means it's going to be possibly good.
So let me just tell you one thing.
Yeah.
So now we still have Netflix, we still have Disney Plus, and now we have to subscribe to HBO to get Watchmen?
Well,
are we going back to cable?
It sounds like it. Well, think about it. A lot of people already have HBO, right?
I don't have HBO.
I don't have HBO either. But, I kind of do because me and my cousin work out. Don't worry about it. I have HBO, though.
I know. You want to use the Fire Stick?
I don't have the Fire Stick, but I have it through Amazon.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I have it through. You know how they have you able to use it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I know we said we are going to talk about Star Wars, but it looks like we're. Real quick thoughts. The Mandalorian. How do you feel about it? Dope, right?
I saw Carl Weathers and my jaw dropped.
All right, that's all I need to know.
I was like, Apollo Creed? Is he back?
Is he alive?
No way.
I'm excited for that. I can't. I hope it's as good as what it looks like. That's what I think. I hope it's as good as what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a space western, and that sounds awesome.
They're talking about like a Clint Eastwood
That's
type
awesome.
of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I hope Jon Favreau pulls it off. I really do. I hope he pulls it off. I really do.
I'm excited for it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm excited for it to turn out
It's a day
really
one
well.
show too. No waiting. Day one on November 12th when that service hits. Day one.
Day one. What? How many episodes?
I don't know. I think 10.
That's not bad.
No. 10 hours of television.
Might be interesting for like a month or two.
Right.
Not for nothing.
How do you feel about the
I don't care.
Rise of the Skywalker, the new Star Wars movie?
Rise of the Skywalker?
That's what it's called.
You know, when I first saw the trailer, all the hairs on my arms stood up because it was just that intimacy that they brought back.
Yes.
You know, when they introduce 4, 5, and 6, and then they go down the path of 1, 2, and 3, and then they introduce Kylo, and and I was like, this looks hot. That double-bladed, Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Or a version of it, right?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I need one of those. I didn't think of anything else. I said, I need one of those.
I think, it's hard. I need to see another trailer. It's interesting. I hope that they don't, smoke and mirror us,
You know what?
what I mean?
I've had 2 people tell me that it might be smoke and mirrors because they were like, just think back to episode 4 when Luke was having nightmares and he saw Vader. And I was like, oh, man, are you serious? Because for a minute there, I was thinking to myself, is she like, Darth Vader's clone?
I was thinking, do you think that she's a child of the Emperor that we never knew about?
I don't know, man. She reminds me a lot of Anakin.
I mean, she does.
Because when you go back to episode 7, and she's flying that Millennium Falcon. Who flew that Millennium Falcon like that besides Han Solo?
That's true.
She's flying that thing through like crevices and caves, and I'm like, what? Where'd she get the skill?
I think me and you spoke about this theory, but the theory of like...
It's an unexplained skill.
Yeah, unexplained skill. Like, the theory of... What if the Emperor really had a backup plan?
Emperor was scared of losing Vader.
Exactly.
That was his backup plan.
So what if Rey was his backup plan? What if this ha 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 that we heard at the end of the trailer that I was like, oh, I got goosebumps if this guy's really back? What if that ha 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 is in her head? What if the back, maybe, what if it's like, you know, what's the thing in the Terminator where everything clicks on and the program comes back?
Yeah.
What if it's like...
That's what I'm thinking the smoke and mirrors might be. Like, they put this trailer out, and you hear Vader's...
But there's also an image of her fighting Kylo, and it's like to the death on top of a flying Death Star, it looks like.
That scene looked dope.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Honestly, I don't even care for Kylo. Guy's a crybaby.
I like Kylo.
I mean, I mean, the masses would hate me for what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
but it's kind of like...
I really do like Kylo because like his character makes so much sense in that world.
What kind of... I mean, how dope would it be
Think about like a guy
if Kylo turned Jedi?
That'd be cool. That'd be epic. Especially the fact, you know, like I said, Disney makes a lot of promises that they can't keep.
What if Rey really turned Sith? How dope is that?
They won't do that, but
like a whole twist.
Yeah.
But it's Disney. You never know.
they tried to twist in the last movie. That didn't work out too well.
Listen, I don't even know.
Look, you want to hear this
man.
theory that, like I said, Disney don't know how to make promises. So when Force Awakens was coming out, me and my boy, my best friend, shout out to Mikey, my best friend growing up as a kid, me and him were the only two geeks that we ever knew. The only two geeks. We bonded over Legos, bro. Star Wars Legos. When he saw that trailer, he texted me. He goes, "Yo, Ben, did you hear that crackle on Kylo Ren's lightsaber?" And I go, "Yeah, I did." He goes, "Yo, that's a synthetic kyber crystal. Where did he make that kyber crystal? There's a story there." And I was like, "Oh my god, I got goosebumps."
Are you serious?
Dude. My dream is to eventually write movies or do something. I have a whole storyline of like.
But you know what? Trailers are meant to deceive us, man. Especially now, right?
About lightsabers, though. Me and him could have a conversation just about lightsabers. About lightsabers. And, like, think about the crystal. Where did that come from? Where did he make that fucking thing? That it makes... like the way it pops out. Like...
That sounds, right?
That sound... doesn't sound like any other lightsaber.
Maybe he's reading too much into it.
I don't know. If it is, it was awesome. When we first Force Awakens, we thought we were going to get like a scene where we see him like go into a cave, take a piece of an old kyber crystal, break that shit in half, create a new lightsaber, and this lightsaber is like overpowered where it's going to explode. That's what we thought. That's what me and him spoke about. You think that shit is going to explode when he finally hits against whoever, Rey or Finn, whoever this person using Luke's lightsaber, which we thought was going to be Finn because the trailer image had Finn holding Luke's lightsaber, that he hits it against, and because it's Luke's lightsaber and this is not a real lightsaber, that shit explodes. Destroys the shit out of him. Theories, man, theories.
There's a lot of stuff, man. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, they gave us Leia flying through the sky.
That's not good.
If they can fix this...
My wife turned to me when that happened. She's like, "She could do that?" I was like, "No." She could do that? I was like, "No."
I always said...
She's like, "Oh." She walked away. She's like, "Oh."
You know what the thing about it is? Like, when I saw that, I was telling myself,
Why?
Like,
Why?
I mean, it wasn't even like, Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've told many people, were they trying to recreate Christopher Reeve? You understand? Like Superman, like flying through the sky.
You know, that would have been an interesting and justified death for a character that in real life passed away. And it would have been like, we got adventure death. Would make sense, right? She died in the most epic heroic way. She was in the front of the ship blew up, she died. I can understand that.
But couldn't they have just left it that way?
That would have been awesome. Instead,
we
see eyes over them.
Listen, I would have
flying through the air.
I would have accepted her death, but no. Din, 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 din. I was like, come on,
all you need
man.
is the Superman theme is like din, 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 din.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm surprised they didn't give her a cape.
Bro,
maybe she did have a cape. No,
she did have she had like a little skirt cape.
Fuck. Oh man, FML.
I guess final thoughts on Star Wars. I was gonna explain me talking about Star Wars Land, but I want to I'll give a very quick thing about me going to the Galaxy's Edge, which is Galaxy's Edge is awesome. But again, Disney did something that is both not mind-blowing, but in the sense like they did something wrong, which is that land was empty.
Empty?
Empty.
What do you mean empty?
I mean, like, when me and my wife were preparing for this trip, we were like, oh, we're going to get to see Galaxy's Edge. We were excited, but I told her, I was like, but don't be too excited because we might not be able to get in. We're going to go, and if we can get in, we get in. We know might not be able to ride the ride. We didn't.
Like, it was open, like the doors were open, but there was nothing there for you.
Like, yes, and like, if I went like this, there was like nobody to me. And
the mouse put it on you.
I think the mouse fucked up.
The mouse
fucked up, and I will give you, and I will say one word. Why he fucked up? Batuu.
Batuu?
You know what Batuu is? Exactly. Batuu is the planet that we're supposed to be on in Galaxy's Edge. Not Korion. Not, what's Luke's planet again?
Luke's planet?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some planet with seaweed on it.
I can't remember. It messed up my head. Like, it's no planet that we've heard of in Star Wars. It's a brand new planet. Nothing we recognize. They have a cantina, but it's not the cantina.
Let me tell you something.
It's unrecognizable, so we're kind of like, wow, this is pretty, but there's nothing that, like, when you go into Harry Potter world, you're like, oh shit, that's Hogwarts Castle. Oh shit, that's the bar from Hogwarts.
They weren't ready.
I think that they had a big opportunity and they missed it completely.
You know what I would have thought?
Oh, and what's worse? They have Rey walking around the park.
Really?
That's horrible.
Why?
Because I don't know. They have Chewie walking around the park, which is cool because Chewie's Chewie. That's pretty cool.
You know what?
But they have a girl dressed up as Rey walking around the park, pretending to be Rey, when you know that Daisy Ridley's Rey, and that this girl just doesn't look like Daisy Ridley.
Let me just tell you something. Well, the first thing that comes to mind for Galaxy's Edge is a cantina, and maybe like a
I eat there. I'll tell you that.
Maybe like a diorama of like, come on, the most epic scene ever. Like,
oh yeah,
sit where Han Solo,
right,
and have a character Guido on the side.
Yeah,
like who shot first? Like, why wouldn't that be like the first thing to see? No. They didn't have that.
No,
I'm sad.
I'm gonna tell you, if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you're gonna go in there and you're like, wow, this is awesome. Wow, it was really cool to see a Millennium Falcon. I saw the Millennium Falcon. It was there. It looked great. I have a picture in front of it. But then everything around it was like, I recognized nothing.
That's sad.
All the stuff that was there was new stuff that, like, if you're not a big fan of The Force Awakens or the new whatever, it's there.
I don't know why, but
they're walking the park. It's like they wanted to erase everything that's happened before. That's what it felt like, if I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't know, man, but it makes me just want to kind of, like, scratch myself.
Yeah. I was with, I got to meet R2-D2, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, but R2-D2?
Well, it's a fully interactive R2-D2.
Fully interactive.
Okay, so this R2-D2, I walked up, I was like, hey, R2, and
he spoke to you?
Yeah.
You understood it?
No. But what was cute, I have a video, and if I could find it, I'll show it to you, of my daughter in front of R2. R2 goes, beep, 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 and my daughter looks up to me and goes, beep, 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 beep.
Well, wait a minute. She's not scared of this one, but she's scared of the one you have in your house?
Yeah.
The
size. It's the tiny size.
Oh, it's the tiny size.
It's the tiny size she's afraid of. It's the big size. She literally, I have the video. R2-D2, I go up to my daughter, I pull a stroller, and I go, Lisi, look, it's R2! And R2 strolls forward, stops, and the lights flash, and go, beep, 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 beep. And my daughter looked at me and goes, beep, 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 beep.
You guys really enjoyed those pity sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cute, okay? PT is all that I need.
I hear you.
In the end of the day, PT rules. So, but in reality, like I said, I felt like it was a missed opportunity. You go in there, and there's nothing that you, as a Star Wars fan, you recognize. There's, like I said, the cantina where we ate dinner at the cantina. Dinner was delicious, but I sat at a table that I was like, kind of looks like something.
But you had those drinks, no?
Yeah, Blue Milk's what comes from, Last Jedi and Force Awakens, I guess, right?
Weird drinks.
They were weird. They were cool because I could taste the blue milk, and you'll get a different taste than I did.
Leche, huh?
It wasn't milk.
All right.
Definitely wasn't milk.
Oh man.
But you can add plenty of rum to it. They added alcoholic sides.
Oh man, rum to cover up their mistakes.
Yeah, basically. The green one was delicious though, and with rum was even better. So, the green one tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
Really?
It was delicious. I could say that was.
Wait, the rum made it taste like Fruity Pebbles?
No, it by itself tastes like Fruity Pebbles. The rum, it just tastes like heaven.
Fruity Pebbles. I'm gonna have
The
to
food,
try that.
the food is good. The food is good. It's just the environment. You expect, like I said, big promises that they did not keep.
Sounds like Disney.
Yeah, it does sound like Disney. What the hell was that?
I don't know. Giant bug.
Giant bug. Yeah, I think that's what came down to. But anyways, any final thoughts on Star Wars? Anything you want to say before we wrap up this episode of The Thread, Colonel?
No, man. You know,
Recommendations?
I just feel a lot of disappointment in Disney, man.
Me too.
This Phase 4 doesn't seem exciting at all, man.
I haven't been excited for a long time. I'm happy in a very cynical way. That like people are like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. This all feels the same.
I don't know why, man, but I was so excited to watch The Boys.
Boys is good. That's why.
You know,
I think as a culture we're ready for that kind of superhero movie to deconstruct our heroes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm not even excited for Love and Thunder. Like, what the hell is that? More Ragnarok love?
Yeah, probably. It's not for me.
Nah, it ain't for me, man.
It's for all those other zombies that want to go and watch it.
I mean, listen, I'll watch it on Netflix when it comes out, or maybe on some other free medium. But
it's not for me, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, signing out from It's Not For Me, Ben. Signing out from Ben.
Just say no, the Colonel.
The Colonel. So long, everybody.